Waha! Vlog post number 2. Isn't this fun? Isn't this exciting? It's so high-tech and social media-esque, and it's just really exciting, and I'm glad that you're here to share it with me. I'm feeling better, by the way. You should be happy for me because of that. And what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to start off by talking about blog contests. Now, some of my viewers, some of my 6 or 7 viewers may already know that I have a fondness for entering blog contests, and I have an even bigger fondness for winning blog contests. And people sometimes ask me, dude, how do you win all this stuff? How do you win all these free books? And I keep telling them, and people don't seem to believe me, but I keep saying, you just have to enter hundreds and hundreds of blog contests, and if you do that, it's all about the volume. You're going to win some stuff. And so I want to show you a few of the things that I've won, and then I want to talk about one book in particular. For example, I went to Susan Adrian's blog, and I won this book, Danny Noir by Nova Ren Suma. Fantastic, fantastic book. One of the best middle grade novels of last year. One on Lee Mackenzie's blog, I won this book, Breathing by Shel Renee Erbsman. She's a Bay Area author, very southern. Go to her website and see if you can dig up a clip of her reading this in a southern accent. Bobby vs. Girls Accidentally. I won this on Lisa Yee's annual Bodacious Book Contest. I was the first runner-up, but, you know, I was a gracious first runner-up because I still won a book, and she's one of my favorite authors, so that was very fun. This one, an ARC, an advanced reader copy of The Gardener by S.A. Bodine, which I won on S.A. Bodine's blog. And then this book, it's called Butterfly Tattoo. It's by Diedre Knight, and if you look at it, you know, it's maybe not a children's book by looking at the cover, and if that's what you're thinking, you would be right, because if you were to go to the bookstore and find the section that this would be shelved in, it's going to be shelved in romance. Now, I did not actually win this book on a blog. I won this on Twitter. Diedre is someone who I've actually struck up a bit of an acquaintance with on Twitter. She's great, you know, she's really sweet. She has great taste in music. She's in the midst of this just hugely accomplished and interesting life, and she's a fabulously successful author, and also runs her own literary agency. So, you know, big life, but she's cool in a lot of other ways besides that, because the contest that she ran on Twitter was she was tweeting lines from movies, and she was saying, first person to, you know, tell me what movie and what characters were that said these lines will win a Diedre Knight book. And she quoted a couple lines, and the one that I jumped on was, and it was like I had this sort of primeval lizard brain Pavlovian response where I just had to answer her question, because I immediately said, oh, it's from the J.J. Abrams reboot of the Star Trek franchise. It's the end of the scene where Kirk is being tried for fixing the computer on the Kobayashi Maru simulation right before they head off to fight against the Romulan ship, and it's Kirk and it's Bones, and you know, it's right there, right in my comfort zone. Of course I won. She said, hey, you want a book? Which one you want? And I said, I don't know. Can you pick one for me? And she picked this one, and she shipped it out, and it was probably a few weeks ago, and I haven't read it yet. And I was gonna do this blog post about, you know, about winning contests, and I found this book, and I thought, oh, I still haven't read this book. Like, she, you know, she put an inscription with a lyric from a Journey song in it and everything, and I thought, why haven't I read this? Why haven't I read this yet? I mean, I have a lot of books that I want to read, but I usually read the stuff that I win. Why haven't I read this one? And I wondered, is it as benign as the fact that, I don't know, maybe I just like knee-jerk entered the contest and really wasn't thinking about the prize? Yeah, maybe. And then maybe when I got the book, was it something a little, I don't know, less flattering, as in, ooh, I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's a romance novel, and was I being a snob? Was I being a big snobby jerk? I may have been. I'm a believer in honest self-assessment, and so I think that the truth is that maybe I was just being a big snobby jerk about this book, thinking, I don't read romance. I'm just not into that stuff. And this is a gray area, you know, because I am a real believer in the idea that people are allowed to have whatever reactions they have to a book. They can have whatever opinions they want of a book. You know, a little bit different if you start trying to impose those things on other people. But in terms of your own individual thoughts and feelings about a book, everybody's entitled to have whatever thoughts and feelings they have. So it's not like a hanging crime if I were to look at a romance novel and say, I'm not touching that stuff. But seems a little bit lame. I'm trying to do this stuff a little bit differently now that I'm, in the realm of aspiring authorhood. I've met some romance authors, both in person and virtually, and I didn't really have any preconceived notions about what these people would be like before I met them, but my impression of the ones that I've met has been that, these people, these writers are as intelligent and educated and talented and dedicated to craft and steeped in professionalism as any other group of creative professionals that I've rubbed elbows with. And I was surprised, not pleasantly or unpleasantly, but surprised to find out how much of sort of kissing cousins relationship there is between romance and, for example, young adult fiction. There seems to be a little bit of overlap, and so that was very interesting. And I thought, hey, these romance authors are in a way, pretty close to being in my sphere since I'm a children's author. And I thought, well, geez, I kind of want to get into a place where I'm thinking about things in a fair way, or maybe just a balanced and measured and thoughtful way. And I thought, I'm going to do a little exercise to try and clarify my own thoughts about this, because I thought I'm going to come up with some hypothetical phrases that I, in a weak moment, or that other people could possibly say about, the romance genre. Because if you could take phrases like, I don't read romance, or why would I want to waste my time writing a romance novel? Or maybe something that comes from someone else, where it's, don't screw around with that romance stuff. Write a real book. And it was a little bit enlightening. I mean, nothing really profound, but enlightening to take these phrases and follow up with the next step in my personal exercise, which was to take out the word romance and substitute it with the phrase children's books. And then I looked at that and I thought, aha, as I suspected, now I have a collection of things that people have actually said to me when I've talked to them about wanting to write a children's book, and the fact that I'm trying to do that. And I thought, wow, geez, and I always thought those people, like if they were all in the room with me right now, that I'd give them a big thumbs up, except I'd use a different finger. And if we were going to switch back to using romance instead of children's books, well then I'd really have to, honestly and legitimately, take that finger salute myself. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be someone who's being dismissive of people's work and of an entire genre and of a group of creative professionals who I know are actually working as hard and deserve as much respect as anybody else. So I am going to read this book. I'm going to read this book gladly, and I am going to leave myself the room to have whatever opinion about it that I want. I may not like it. If someone put a gun to my head and said, are you going to like it? Answer yes or no. I suspect the answer might be no. Okay? It's going to be a new set of conventions, I think. Writing conventions and structural sort of conventions that people follow, and thematic concerns that maybe don't, fall so much in the realm of the fiction that I usually read. It's going to be pretty sexy, it looks like, and that's not usually what I read. But am I going to be able to look at this and read this book and examine it in terms of, craft and talent and commitment and dedication to, using the tools of the trade? And I certainly hope so. I mean, Diedre Knight has, this incredibly successful career. I would love to have, 1/25th of the level of success that she's had. So who am I to sneer at her for what she does? She's way farther along the journey than I am. So I'm gonna read the book, and we'll see what happens from there. But I don't want to be a snob, I guess, is mostly what I'm saying, right? That is all.